great to see you all here. As we are preparing ourselves, let's turn off our cell phones, put them on silent. Just get centered. And take a deep breath in. And exhale. And let yourself breathe in a rhythm. About 4 or 5 seconds in, hold it at the top. And then take a long exhale, relaxing the body, getting grounded and centered. Let go of everything outside of these walls. And focus in on your heart, the very core of you. Your heart space, the energetic heart that cannot be contained by the body, that radiates outside of you. That part of you that we feel when we think of you. Pray for you when you enter a room and we have yet to hear your voice. Focus in on that space. And just breathe and be. Mentally taking off all the hats that you wear throughout the week, all the things you are to all the people in your life. Let go of the responsibilities, the list of things to do. Just let yourself be. And whatever it is you're feeling this morning, know that you are amongst your spiritual family who loves you and holds you just as you are. So whatever emotion you have, you can let it bubble up and over. And while we hold you exactly as you are in your humanness, we hold your divinity as well, knowing that you're an infinitely powerful spiritual being. Just let yourself be. And we open our hearts and minds to the experience we will have together today. So that we can hear what we need to hear, feel what we need to feel, see what we need to see, discover more of what we need to discover about ourselves in our vast magnificence. As divine beings. So we remember in this moment who and what we are. Spiritual beings having a human experience. In this moment, we say yes to life and to love. We say yes to all that we are called to be in every moment. For even if in the moment we can't call it good, we call it good for us. And we allow the good to make itself known to us. We allow the good to unfold. So from this place of peace and love and divine knowingness, we sing our centering song, Spirit's Prayer. This is a reading from 365 Days of Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. This is today's reading, October 26. I cannot escape heaven, for I am already in it. Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend unto heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. From Psalm 139, verses 7 to 8. To think that any person is outside of God is an absurdity. We know that God is infinite mind, with a capital M, is the only real presence and power there is, and all men are in it and of it. That our material troubles prevent us from knowing this all the time is obvious. But the disciplined soul can cause heaven to appear in the midst of every problem. When we pray or treat a negative condition, we set in process a divine idea which brings heaven to pass at the instant. As we recognize and affirm the omnipresence of Spirit, we are causing heaven to appear. All evil fades as truth is asserted by the determined Son of God. Eternally, we live in heaven, the presence of pure being, the life everlasting. As we lift up our eyes unto the truth, our minds are transformed. With a new viewpoint, we look out upon our world, and like God, we too can say, behold, it is very good. It is heaven. God made my world, and he called it good. I now link my mind with the mind of God and look out upon my world from a new viewpoint. I see God in every person and in every situation. All negatives are now cleansed from my consciousness. I am pure in heart, and I see God everywhere. I see only the Christ Spirit in my fellow man. I look forward this day to the joy of living in the kingdom of heaven right here on earth. My home, my church, my office are locations in heaven, and they are filled with the atmosphere of good. Divine love absorbs my full attention, and I release that love to all. I contact this day. I cannot escape my heaven, for I am already in it, and all is well with my soul.
Everybody. Stefan indulged me. I'm the one that requested Kermit. You know, there's just something about his innocence. Yes. Makes me cry, so. Okay. Good morning, everybody. The inspirational moment for today is from 365 Days of Richer Living, Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. Identity. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. From Matthew 5:48. There is a pattern of perfection at the center of everything. This, the saints and sages of the ages have told us. There is, as the Platonists taught, a prototype of perfection at the center of every form. It is this spiritual prototype with which the mind should identify itself, for this is the Father in heaven within us. Nothing has ever violated the integrity of this inner kingdom. It exists forever in the bosom of God, and we are in him even as he is in us. The Most High is enthroned in my soul. The divine spirit exists at the center of my being. Knowing that divine power can accomplish anything and realizing that faith in this divine power draws it forth into my experience, today I exercise complete confidence in the invisible. I permit that mind to be in me, which was also in Christ Jesus. Today, I consciously identify myself with the supreme presence which inhabits eternity and finds a dwelling place at the center of my own soul. By some deep inner spiritualization, I penetrate the mask of separation and discover the unity of all life. I identify myself with this unity, finding Christ within and knowing that Christ is God's. I recognize my union with all the power, all the presence, and all the life that there is. And our affirmation today, to repeat 3 times. I recognize my union with all the power, all the presence, and all the life that there is. I recognize my union with all the power, all the presence, and all the life that there is. I recognize my union with all the power, all the presence, and all the life that there is.
So the reason why we say our affirmation for the day 3 times is because Marilyn Burr, who passed away early September, she was on the board when I first got here. She started that because she said that was the way that we get it into our hearts, to repeat it 3 times. So thank you, Marilyn. God, I miss her. She's not. Maybe she's sitting right here this morning, asleep in her chair. She always slept right through my talks. And she would wake up like a couple of minutes before it was over, and she always told me, I loved your talk. She was. Osmosis. So I grew up in a household. My father was a teacher when I was a very little girl. And so they were raising 3 children on a teacher's salary, and we went to Catholic school, and we did 4-H and Girl Scouts and piano lessons and ballet lessons. They had us in everything. So, life was not easy. My parents struggled to give us everything that they wanted us to have. And I am grateful for that, very grateful for it, because it's not until you're an adult and you're taking care of yourself that you realize what a sacrifice that was. My father went without a new car for a very long time. And we had a new car, it was not a nice car. And my mother went without. And yes, I'm aware of what that was. And I'm also aware that there was a paradigm about life and living, that life and living was about struggle. That was also given to me because of the way that we lived. And so now, 60 years later, 60-some years later, I am still working on flipping the switch on that paradigm. It's been a hard one to break. It has taken a lot of work. And I have broken past the ceiling, the financial ceiling my parents had, because they always thought there's only so much for all of us. And because of their religious beliefs, they also thought that after a certain amount, it's sinful. So you should only have so much money, and the rest of it's not necessary. And not just necessary, unnecessary, but sinful. And so they their lives reflected that. I've also have had to learn how to shed that paradigm for living. Now, I have broken past that ceiling, and I'm living a life that my parents did not have. And I'm still trying to break that ceiling and go even further, because it is a ceiling. It's a glass ceiling. I can see through it to what it is I want, and I've been affirming what I want, and I'm working on it. And I can feel the difference in me as I work to change that paradigm. But it has been work, because those messages are in my head. And I think some of those messages are in my physicality, that they're in my cells. Because at some point, when you have a paradigm for so long, when you're used to messages and a way of living, it's not just what people say, it's how we live that you get used to, then there's a part of you that has to shed that physically, I believe. That it becomes that ingrained in us. It's not just in our heads, it is part of us. And so a lot of that all of it, I'm trying to heal, not some of it, all of it. And it's a big, big job. And what I have learned, and I am learning to live, is that there is no struggle. Just like I read, it is all heaven. I live in heaven, and it is here, and it is now. Not a concept I ever heard growing up. Not a concept I heard in adult life. It wasn't until I got into New Thought that I heard that. And that was a big new thought for me. That heaven's here on earth. It's not something you earn and then you die and then you go if you're good enough, or you spend enough time in purgatory. And yeah, that. And then you burn all that off or work it off or shovel coal or break rocks. I don't know. Whatever people do in purgatory before you get to heaven. I don't know. So heaven's here. If you want heaven here. If you affirm heaven here. If you live heaven here. So you can have, who was I talking to yesterday? So you can have either heaven or hell. Here, now, depending on what you choose, depending on what you see, depending on how you live, depending on what you affirm. And some of us have hell for 1 hour, and next hour we're in heaven. And then something happens and we get knocked over, or we bend a little bit in the storm, and then we're back in hell 5 minutes later. And then we go back and forth. We do this thing during the day, during the week, during the month, during the year. Sometimes we go for months thinking we're in hell, and then all of a sudden something changes in our experience, and then we think we're in heaven. But it's only because outward experiences, something has happened in our world to tip us over. Most of us are not living from the paradigm of heaven. Most of us are not living from a paradigm of goodness. Eternal goodness, eternal grace all the time, right here, right now, without having to earn. Again, here we go. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to go find it. We believe in New Thought, in unity philosophy. It is here now. You are it. You are that now. That is your experience if you want it. So you are that. It's already here. You are that at your core. But you can affirm and see otherwise if you want. We got free will. You can do what you want, see what you want. So you can deny all that you are if you care to, and struggle if you want. It's up to you. Oy vey, there's the rub about New Thought. You get to decide. So what do you want? What do you want? But first we have to crack that nut that says, I'm in heaven now, that this is my experience of life now. Can you crack that nut? Can you get there? Can you break through that glass ceiling? That life is work, that life is struggle, that we got to earn it. If it's not working, it means I got to go do more. I got to do it harder. I got to fight longer. I got to read more books. I got to go more conferences and workshops. I got to go talk and listen to all the gurus who tell me you got to hustle. Do you know what it's like being an entrepreneur and being hit by that message of the hustle all the time? Man, I'm trying to break that one, because all you hear is you got to work, 15, 16 hours a day. And if you're not, baby, you're not going to get it because you don't deserve it. Because that's what it is. That's what an entrepreneur's life is. And so I hear that, and then I know, and I'm affirming, I'm trying to get to this thing that I can have what I want the way that I want it, but I got to break this thing, this hustle thing that's in my head about how the entrepreneurial life goes, or any life, even if you just have a job. How many people are going to work and still think, I got to work harder, longer, work overtime, or I've got to do this or that to earn what I want so I can have what I want? And we drive ourselves to distraction, and we get all stressed out. And even if you earn all the money, most people don't enjoy all the money, because you're either sick or crazy or insane by the time you get there. Or you're resenting it. Long time ago, in my early life, I dated somebody who had a business, very hugely successful, and made it to millionaire status. But he always worked. I thought, can I not see you? Like, can we do something? Can we go somewhere? Can we? And even if we did, he was working. Always on the phone, always on the phone. Always on the phone. And after a while, I thought, all right, this is not working. It's just not working. After a while, how much money can you spend? Because what I want is the relationship. That's what I want. What I wanted was you, not the money. And the money was who he was. And so he was suffering. And I forget what happened. Lord, oh, thank God. Plus, it was decades ago. Something happened. He lost most of his money. He lost himself. And so, of course, we broke up because he thought, well, I got nothing to offer her anymore. And so he went off, and I figured he was, he'd be all right, and he would earn it all back, and he did. He went back, and he hustled again. He earned it all back, and what happened? Then he called and said, well, I got money again. I'm feeling I'm the man now. Well, no, I thought you were the man when you had no money. Still, I did. Because I knew who he was. He didn't know who he was. He was caught in the hustle. But you can decide that the hustle is for you if that's what you want. If that's all you know, if that's your pattern, if that's your paradigm for life, the hustle is yours. And I say, hustle away, baby, till you get tired. Most of us do it until we get sick or something. You lose your health, and then you realize, well, I can't work anymore. Now I got to make something else work. That's usually when most of us wake up, when there's some pain in the experience, and we get to sit long enough or lay down flat on our backs long enough to think about what we're doing. Thank God that didn't happen in my experience. But as I continued in New Thought and continued to work these principles and think about them and contemplate them and stay in meditation long enough, I kept getting messages that you don't have to earn it. I was hearing in my meditation time, beloved, you're enough. You're already enough. You're more than enough. In fact, you're not enough. You are magnificence. Enough means you're just here. You're at base level and nothing more. How many of you struggle to get to I am enough? And that's huge transformation for many of us. it was for me in my 20s and 30s, to know that I was enough. Enough for myself, enough for the people in my life. And then again, I'm in new thought. I'm working these principles. I'm thinking about myself as divine. I'm embracing divinity. And then enough is off the table because God is more than enough. God is all there is. If I'm a unique expression of the divine, then I am certainly more than enough. I am also that magnificence. And so here I go. I got to blow out another glass ceiling. I had to work to get to enough, and I'm feeling good. And life changed when I knew it was enough. I'm kicking folks to the curb who weren't treating me right. Sorry, baby, I'm more than enough. Yeah, that dog doesn't hunt in our relationship anymore. I'm out of here. And so relationships got better. Everything got better. My work life got better. And then I'm hearing this. I'm working these principles. I'm paying attention to them, that God is all there is, and that includes me. And so I am magnificence. And sitting with that and meditating on that and figuring out in the moment, what does that mean as I move through my day if I am magnificence? How do I show up in my life? What do I think about? What is it that I affirm for me? What kind of work life do I want? Do I want a work life? Maybe I want the life of a lady of leisure, which I always thought I was anyway. But what does that mean? What does that look like? And how do I get there? I didn't grow up with people who are ladies of leisure. I'm still figuring out what that means and what it means for me. And how do I get there? But now it's a process of not struggling and working and hustling. It's a matter of allowing the good to pour into my life that is already there. Allowing the abundance that already exists to flow into my life. Because I'm the one that's at the switch. I can see it out there, and maybe I see it for all of you, but don't see it for me. Or maybe I see it for particular people, but not everybody. I had to work on seeing it for me. I mean, I saw it in other people's lives, and I love that. I knew that there were people living much differently from the way I lived. I saw that there were people living the kind of dreams that I had, but could I really, really, truly see it for me? And am I going to allow that into my life? So first I had to believe that there was an opulent universe out here that has everything that I need and that it has been provided. It is me. It's not just out there in the environment. It is this. It is me at my core. More glass ceilings. More glass ceilings. But I say welcome those glass ceilings as they come into your life. Every single time you see another one and you can see through it to something else, say thank you for it. Because something is calling you forward. There's something within you. Your divinity is saying to you, there's something else for you, baby cakes. Something else for you. You're starting to grow. You're expanding. You're seeing, I got something else for you. There's always something else. There's always something else. There's always something else. So just when you think, can't get any better than this, yeah, it can. But we have to open up. We have to allow more. We have to open our arms wider. We have to open our hearts wider. We have to open our arms wider. Our minds, we have to be willing to say yes to something we've never said yes to before. I remember being with a friend who really struggled in relationships early on, only because that was her experience growing up. And so she got to the point where she was dating people. I remember one day she said to me, well, at least this one doesn't beat me. Glass ceiling. And it was better that this one wasn't beating her, because the last one did. And she called me in the middle of the night one night, whispering, because he was in the house and drunk and coming for her, looking for her. She was sitting in the bathroom with the door locked, whispering to me on the phone, and I had to send a police officer friend to her house so that she could get out, so that he wouldn't touch her again. So yeah, it was a big deal that she was with somebody who didn't beat her. But I knew that there was so much more. She didn't know that there was so much more. She had to learn that there was so much more. And then when she finally found a really great guy, she didn't know what to do with him. Again, she was calling me in the middle of the night, whispering in the bathroom, but this time she said, "Oh my God, he brought me flowers." What does he want? Yeah. Oh my God, he wants to spend time with me during the day. What does he want? Time with you during the day? Maybe. Could be. She's now married to him. Been 20-some years together. She had to break through that glass ceiling. She had to see that there was something more for her. She came a long, long way in the, okay, I won't calculate how many decades we've been friends. But we've been friends a long time. She's come a long, long way. But we can all get there if we're willing to open up, if we're willing to allow what's already there waiting for us, if we'll change our paradigm about life, about love, about God, about whatever. Are you willing to allow what's already there? Are you willing to believe that it's already there? Because most of us don't believe it's already there. What I read about heaven already being here, do you believe that, or do you think, well, that was a crocker, you know what? Some of you might be thinking that, because that's not your experience, and that's not what you're used to. That's okay, I wasn't either. Growing up, heaven was up there somewhere, with St. Peter at the gates, checking off names. Are you supposed to be in this line or not? Nope, back down to purgatory. You're not supposed to be here. But 20, 30 years of growth and paradigm expanding, kicking through those glass ceilings. I'm living a different life. And now I just allow what's already mine to unfold into my life. Prayer meditation helps. Those are the tools. I know I say it every single Sunday. Message isn't going to change. Those are the keys. Spend time with the divine. Spend time with you as the divine so that you can hear what you need to hear. Feel what you need to feel. I've related before that story about the movie Secretariat, how I watched it for some reason. Every single time when I watched the last 6 minutes of that movie where Secretariat is running that race, I would watch and I would weep for that last 6 minutes. Every single time. I mean, I rode horses as a little girl, but I wasn't a horsewoman. It's not like I'm riding horses all the time. What is it about me and this freaking horse? What? I mean, I did. I watched it for about a year. Every single day, sometimes more than once a day, that 6 minutes. And I would just rewind that movie and watch it and weep. And yes, and then one day in prayer, I said, please tell me what it is about the horse. Why? Because I was crazy. I was always going back to the horse. Something was going wrong, and I needed to flip the switch. If I was feeling down about something, I would go back to I'm back watching Secretariat again, watching that last 6 minutes, where he runs that race by 30 lengths. Oh my God, I felt like I was the horse on the track. My heart's beating fast. I'm up cheering. I know all the dialogue in the movie in that last 6 minutes. And so I'm sitting in my meditation. I said, tell me what it is about the horse. And clear as a bell, Spirit said to me, because you are a winner already. Brought me to my freaking knees. Brought me to my knees. Because the only sentence with me and winner in it was not, right before winner. Never thought I was a winner at anything. And here, I'm thinking I haven't done anything in life to be called a winner. And Spirit, clear as a bell, said, you are that. You are that. That's why you know that. That's why that moves you. Know yourself as that. Man, that changed everything for me. Wish I had asked a year earlier. I still love that movie. I still love that last 6 minutes. I still can't help but stand up and cheer that horse on while he's running and winning that race by 30 lengths. Still can't help it. Because there's still something in me that knows myself as a winner, even when I deny it. But that was paradigm opening. Seeing myself that way and knowing that the divine was affirming for me that that is what I am. That's why I believe in ask and you shall receive. Ask the question, you'll get an answer. Man, I asked the question, I got a definitive answer. Know yourself as a winner, I was told. Live that. Live that. That's you. That's you. And I wept over that for days and tried to see that for myself. And it has propelled me through many a thing that I have accomplished. And it still does, because like I said, I can still watch that movie. I can go to that 6 minutes right now and weep here in front of you and run up and down like I'm at the race. So what do you believe about yourself? Again, what do you believe about God? It all goes back to what do you believe about God. And that's why I love our principles, because the first one starts with the only power and presence in this universe is God, the good, the all there is. Know that first, because you build on that. Know that first. Know it first. Know it first. So when you're struggling, go back to that. Principle one in unity. It seems like all hell is breaking loose. It seems like you can't get by with what you're doing. It seems like there's too much conflict. It's too much pressure. You don't know what to do. You're back in the struggle. You're back in the fight. Go back to principle one and sit with principle one until you feel principle one all over you. I don't care how many days or hours it takes you. Sit with it until you feel it. That God is all I know. And that means it's all good and it's all right here. Heaven is right here because God is heaven and heaven is God. It's all right here. I just got to see it. Got to open up. Got to open up. Got to know it. See? There's a signal. Every time I said it. Back to principle one. And once you got principle one and you're resonating with that, and then if God is all there is, then so am I. I am love. I am divine. Sit with that till you get it. Sit with it every day. And so this is a daily process. You work the principles all the time. It works if you work it. You are divine, you are divine, you are divine. And again, I say, if you can get those two, you're golden. Life is golden. It changes the game. Changes you. You are forever changed when you know that about yourself, that you are a divine being and that God is all there is. Stuff comes up. You automatically go to God is all there is. God is all there is. God is all there is. I don't care what this is, but God is all there is. start thinking you're not enough, you start thinking you don't have it, I'm an infinitely powerful divine being. Same force that created the heavens and earth. I am that. No hubris. Again, if you really get that, you will feel humbled and grounded, protected, grateful. You're going to allow the goodness into your life, but first you got to know it's there. Can't allow what you don't know. So go back to principle 1, that God is all there is. And allow God to overflow into your life. So yes, I flipped it, not let go, let God, let God, let go. Let God first, then let go. Know that the God is all there is, and then you let go. Just allow, open up. This is mine, and once you know it, once you feel it, stuff starts coming. All the answers, all the resolutions to all of the stuff you got going in your life will start pouring in so fast and so hard and so magnificently you won't know what to do with it other than to open your arms wider. What do you know about yourself? What do you know about the world? What do you know about God? And what are you going to do about it? Again, you can know it's there, but until you flip the switch and say yes, it's all just going to stay out there looking pretty and nice. You look through the glass ceiling and see it. Oh, look at the life I could have. Ain't it great? Just got to flip the switch. So are you willing to change what you think, either about God, the world, or about you? We're back to that. We will always come back to that because everything comes back to that. Everything comes back to that. Every single thing that you are struggling with, every single thing that you are confused about, everything that you are angry about, everything that you're sad about, everything that you're happy about goes back to that. So again, you got a question. Go back. Principle 1, principle 2. Sit with that. Resonate with that. Let yourself know it. And just like I knew in my bones, in my cells, that life was a struggle growing up, I now know in my cells, in my bones, that God is all there is. I just have to remind myself, open my eyes again, like we talked about last week. Get those windshield wipers, get that dirt off the windshield, let the light shine through. Turn those windshield wipers on, a little bit of dust, get it off. More dirt starts slinging, mud starts slinging, a truck goes by and flings stuff on your windshield. Those windshield wipers on, clean it off, clean it off, clean it off until you know the truth and know it here. Get out of your heads and come here with it. Let's take this in a meditation. So which of these do you need to work on? Knowing that God is all there is. Knowing that you are divine. Which one? You know where you are in your beliefs. You mad at the world? You mad at God? questioning God? Or are you saying God is great, but I'm not that? Are your negative messages all about you? How many times do you say, I am, with something negative attached to it during the day? What are you going to do with that? Are you willing to know yourself as more? Are you willing to know yourself as more? Are you willing to know God personally? Are you willing to say yes to greater good? Or are you willing to say yes to good, period? Or your sentences about your life, what you tell yourself about your life. Oh, but at least I was able to do this. At least I could pay the bills. Oh, but at least he doesn't beat me. But at least it's a fixed income, but it's an income. Oh, but at least. I come that you might have life and have it to the full. I leave you peace, my peace I give you. Are you willing to open your arms wide? Are you willing to see yourself as you were created, as divine love, as an infinitely powerful spiritual being with divine gifts that are yours, that you are just because you are, not because you have to earn it, not because you studied for it, not because somebody outside of you in your life gave it to you, said you can have it, but just because you are, and you know yourself as that. Are you willing to say yes? Yes, yes, and yes again. Are you willing to allow, or do you prefer the fight? Let's take a deep breath. And exhale. Just let yourself settle in. Inhale again. Exhale, relax. There's nothing to earn, nothing to struggle for, no reason to fight. No reason to be in desperation. Just say yes. Just say yes. Just say thank you. I am grateful for an opulent universe and for all the goodness that overflows into my life every single moment of every single day. An infinite supply of goodness and love, of grace, of peace, of harmony and unity, of power and strength and resilience, beauty. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.